you're on.
Good morning. Welcome back again. We've had a few technical difficulties this morning, and that's okay. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I am your host this morning. Thursdays, usually you will see my face. In Chelmsford, this is also going out live and for the 2 hours, and it also is on Sundays and Tuesdays, so if you miss us one day, you can get us the other two. Sam Chase is here as my co-host, which is great. A tremendous amount of knowledge for whatever it is I decide to pick up on and ask questions about.
On some things, not everything.
Well, we'll see how that goes. So at 7 o'clock, we're supposed to have Evelyn Thoren as our guest.
Oh, he's coming.
He's running for city councilor, and we'll ask him all the questions like we've been asking the other candidates that we've had the opportunity to speak to. So around 7 o'clock, we will take a short break to transition into any of the other communities that only pick us up from 7 to 8. So you can see on the bottom, we have Drake, Chelmsford, Lowell, Tewksbury, Tingsboro.
Pick us up as Lowell. Everybody else is watching now.
Okay, well, I'm just...
Lowell only does an hour?
Yeah.
Lowell, the Democratic LTC stands on a rule. You can't broadcast anything for more than an hour. Yet they have a stagnant camera, 6 hours, looking at Teddy Panis' parking lot. That's okay.
What about the football games? Do they broadcast those?
Yes.
All right, well, that's more than an
That's
hour.
public service. I think that's different, like if they had a city council
They
meeting.
don't care for people who aren't Democrats. And it's just that, it goes over a little into City Hall.
You're not a Democrat?
I'm unenrolled.
Okay.
So am I.
But your family was Democrats, right?
Yeah.
Going back, yeah.
And they should realize that and
Yeah.
respect it. Anyway, so we have a number of things that we
They're
will...
not gonna get me back with this attitude.
Oh, yeah, well, we can talk about that.
Well, I've been enrolled in both parties, and I've done what John did many, many years ago. I set a pox on both of them because I don't particularly care for the Republican Party and some of the things they've done, especially statewide. My beef is more with the Massachusetts situation, but I don't care for the Republicans and I don't care for the Democrats. So there you go. So that's why I'm unenrolled. And if you look at the Massachusetts voting rolls, you will find that the unenrolleds outnumber the Republicans and Democrat registrations combined, okay?
Well, a lot of people,
But
like,
who's in power?
The Democrats.
Okay.
yeah, they're not
But-
going in
but
there.
the split-
So the thing is, Sam,
Yeah.
don't vote for anybody that's in a party. They have a D
Well,
or an R after their name.
Most of them
Don't
do.
vote for them.
Yeah, but
Well, there's not too many outs.
most of them do, that's the problem.
Right. Well, and we can talk about
Stop
the strategies there in a minute. But we're talking about why people are either one party or another or not. I chose to be unenrolled for several reasons. The first one is I don't want to be pigeonholed or boxed into someone's concept of who I am based upon what party I belong to.
And that's a good point.
I want to make my own decisions, and I want people that if I have an opinion or I have something to say, that they're saying, oh, that's because you're whatever it is. I don't want to have any of that because everybody has some preconceived notion as to the definition of the Republican or the Democrat, and I don't want to be labeled as such. I don't like labels. I like people to be independent, and you want to talk to them and find out what they think and try to agree to disagree. That's another whole story. The other thing as far as being unenrolled is in a primary, especially in Massachusetts, I can pull either party ballot in a primary.
Any party. You can
Yes,
pull any party's
right. And then
ballot.
I am able to choose the candidate I would like or the candidate I would like to have run against somebody else. And that's where I'm at as far as parties. A lot of people don't like that when I talk about the primary thing, but a lot of people do it. And it isn't because a lot of people do it that I'm doing it. This is what I've always done, and I've been voting since I was 21. Not necessarily consistently, but I have made sure that I did that. That's how I was brought up. It was, and we'll talk about the adventure we had yesterday at the Lowell Senior Center. I think probably a little later on in the program. But as far as what's happening currently in the country with the shutdown, everybody's blaming somebody else, and everybody has a different viewpoint on it. But when you take a look, basically, with what some of the Democrats are saying on television, on the media, on the liberal media, is they're saying this is the only leverage we have to do anything against the Republicans. Never mind for the people.
Well, let me make it very, very simple. I'm going to take the party right out of it. It's very simple. Anyone who voted against the continuing resolution is responsible for the shutdown. Okay? Doesn't matter. And we have one Republican who's voted consistently against it. Okay? So 44 Democrats plus one Republican are responsible. Anyone who voted against the CR is responsible for the shutdown. It's just that simple. It's no more complicated than that. Because voting against that meant that the government shut down. If you voted for it, it meant that the government continued going based on the budget parameters of the prior fiscal year. It's just that simple. It's no more complicated than that.
Well, they're trying to make it more complicated.
Of course they are.
with all of the
They're
different
trying,
things
you
that
know,
they have, because they're trying to figure out how to reduce the support. Now,
Well, and again, the information is not accurate that's being put out there.
well, the information's not accurate on just about everything
It's
and
not,
anything that
it's
they
not
put out there.
accurate, and I've watched both sides of the media. It's not accurate on the liberal media, and it's not accurate on the conservative media. You're not getting the right information. If you watch Fox, you're getting the wrong story. If you're watching MSNBC, you're getting the wrong story, okay? It's just that simple, okay? They're not, each side
Sam, where
is...
does one go for the right?
Each side is spinning to their own advantage.
Or they're trying.
There's no place you can go. You've got to go and read the legislation, and that's the problem, because 1 out of 5 million people in this country is going to do that, and that's how they get away with it.
Well,
Because nobody checks, okay?
Right, and generally
Nobody
speaking,
checks.
people are lazy. If they can get away with not having to do work, now,
Yeah.
we'll put work in quotes, because it doesn't mean necessarily the physical work or the mental work, or it's just collectively.
Mhm.
And not everybody fits in that perimeter either.
Right.
But if you want to read stuff, first of all, you have to know how to read, then you have to know how to interpret what
Well, you
you're
have
reading.
to know where to go, okay? Which is very easy today if you have,
Oh, yeah, well, you have-
if you have an internet connection.
Well, yeah,
okay?
and you have your telephone. Well, you can go to the
Right.
library if you really need to. Or you can get an internet connection if you have a telephone and you have limited service. You can go to a town hall. There's free Wi-Fi a lot of places.
The best source of information on a daily basis is the Federal Register. And I read the Federal Register every day. And
Do you believe, though, when you read that, if you made a comparison with the general population, that they would understand what they were reading?
it's written at about some people wouldn't. It's written at about a college sophomore level,
Yeah.
I would say.
That's why a lot of people aren't reading, because they
Right,
don't
right.
understand what
You
it
don't,
means.
you don't have to be a lawyer to read it, although it helps, or to have had some legal training. But if your reading level is 5th or 6th grade, for example, you're going to have a hard time reading the register. That's the downside.
Right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
and people would rather be spoon-fed information.
Right, exactly.
And then repeat it rather than going and checking their sources either.
Well, this
Because
is...
I read a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that's on Facebook, and I am not responding to all those accusations. I could, but I personally do not want to be criticized or called names as a basis of
What accusations
having an
are you
opinion.
talking about?
So I just choose to say nothing on Facebook.
What accusations are you referring to?
What accusations? I have been on Facebook in the past. I will make I had one individual, and there was quite a number of responses. I put up a link to dispute what was being stated, and the response was, that's your opinion, that's the way that you look at the article. I don't look at the article that way. We're talking about truth. And I'm thinking, is it false truth that's in the article because it counted what you had,
No such
and
thing
it was
as-
a liberal article, and so I was contradicted based upon trying to show, and it wasn't showing the other side, it was just trying to show that what was posted was incorrect. I have put stuff up there and they start calling you some kind of a Republican MAGA individual when you have an opinion that doesn't agree with their particular viewpoint. I don't want to be called all that stuff.
Nobody
It's
does.
irrelevant.
Nobody does, but the upside is that if a person can't argue substance with you,
Well, they
and
call you names.
and they call you names, you've won the argument.
I don't
You've-
want to win the
you've
argument
won
by
the
being
ar-
called names online.
Yeah, but you've won
so.
the argument. When they start calling
Right.
you names, you've won the argument.
But basically, it's like, if
Right.
you guys want to believe this BS, go right ahead.
Well, let me quote Bill O'Reilly. Very simple. People believe what they want to believe. It's just that simple.
What's interesting is we've had the conversation here
Yep.
many times. Those that tend to believe and lean to the left of middle, and those that go to the extreme, their brain assimilates information and interprets differently than those that are on the right side of middle. I'm not talking about Republicans or Democrats, because sometimes you have Democrats that socially they're liberal and financially they're conservative, in that they don't want to spend any money, but their liberal policies show support of things that may be on the right side, and I'm going further over than middle, that some Republicans are financially liberal but socially conservative. So you have to really find out on an individual basis where people fall based upon what their opinions or their policies are or what they're agreeing to understand that. But that's too complicated for people. They'd rather just peg you black or white.
Right.
They're not interested in the gray areas.
Right.
They're not interested in having an understanding of why you
Right.
believe what you do. They don't want to have a conversation with you. Basically, they're like, well, if you can't agree with me, then you need to leave the country.
Well, without being a psychiatrist, which of course I'm not, I have no qualification at all, it's just based on what I read, my opinion is that people who cannot listen to differing points of view without becoming enraged, unhinged, whatever, basically are very insecure people. They're insecure because it's threatening to them.
You're challenged.
If they get into a group of people that don't agree with them on an issue or two, they feel that is a negative comment on them. In other words, you and I disagree, you're calling me stupid or uninformed. That's the way people take it. So people basically who react like that, in my opinion, basically are not secure in themselves. They're very insecure, and the only way they can feel secure is to only surround themselves with people who believe just exactly the way they believe.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
that
makes them feel a
that
lot
makes
more
them-
comfortable.
Makes them feel comfortable, right. And I think that's human nature. I mean, I think most people are wired that way to a degree,
And I
but-
think that this applies, Sam,
Right.
because we don't want to take, there's other things I'd like to talk about here.
yeah, you want to talk about the food, right?
Among other things that I got here. But to take what we've said and then apply it to a situation, there's a lot of, because we live in Massachusetts, a lot of my friends are not leaning to the right, and I read all of this stuff. There's a lot of information, faulty information that's out there, and
On both sides.
there's a lot of things that are scaring some people because they're believing it, and it's not true. They're claiming, that SNAP benefits and EBT cards and all the other stuff is going to stop Saturday. One of the things that they didn't like about some of those benefits is that a particular party, when they were in office, extended benefits to people that are able to work but don't want to, and among other things. And so they want to
plus
go back.
they up the cap. So the cap is 4 times the poverty level. So if, and I don't know what the poverty level number is now, but whatever it is, if you earn $1 less than 4 times the national poverty level, you're eligible for.
Right, but don't they want
So
to
that
go
was-
back
that
to
was
whatever it was when they extended it?
Well,
They just want to go back.
They want to go back, but the thing that mystifies me is when the Democrats made these changes, I don't know why they didn't make them permanent. They made them temporary. You know, it was like the so-called Trump tax cuts in 2016, which came into effect, and they were set to expire at the end of this year. They weren't permanent. So when they make these adjustments, they don't make them permanent. And you say, well, whether you agree or disagree with what they did, you say, well, if you're in power and you have the ability to legislatively to make these changes, why don't you make it permanent? And then you don't have to go through all this stuff.
So
Right?
there is a call for Trump to make the policy on the open border policy and the closed border policy permanent in terms of what his terms would be, and he hasn't done that. But isn't that an act of legislation of Congress?
Because he did things by executive order, or more correctly, what he did was he effectively canceled prior executive orders issued by Biden. The Congress is supposed to manage the border security issue. That's supposed to be done in the legislature. And the problem with the so-called open borders, which was real under Joe Biden, is essentially they weren't enforcing the laws that were already in existence, okay? And in addition to that, they modified the process. And this is where it gets murky for people, and people disagree with, Trump says, 25 million illegal people cross the border, and other people say, well, it's much lower. Actually, the number that Trump gives out is incorrect. It's how you interpret illegal, okay? If you go and the standard is the law as it existed 12 years ago, he's probably right. The problem is that under the Biden administration, what they did was they modified the process so that if you showed up at the border, okay, in other words, you didn't go through the process, you didn't go through your embassy, you didn't go through the asylum, all that mechanism, you just showed up. What they did basically was they gave you what constitutes like a desk appearance ticket, okay? Well, once they give you that ticket, okay, you're legal, even though you haven't been vetted. Once you've encountered a border agent and they have given you that piece of paper that says, here is a appearance ticket and you have to present yourself to an immigration court, you're legal, okay?
Right, I don't
So-
think anybody understands
No, they
that.
don't, but that's.
But Sam, I think you're
Yeah.
wrong.
No, well, no, that's the way it is.
No, I think you're wrong. The snapshot of when they came over the border,
Yep.
were they illegal?
If-
When they came over the
if-
border.
When they came over the border, but once.
No, I want the answer, yes or no.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
it's timing. If they come over the border and they haven't encountered a Border Patrol agent, yes, that's an illegal entry. But an hour later, when they encounter the Border Patrol and they have their interview and they're given the ticket,
I
now
understand,
they're legal.
I understand all
Yeah.
that stuff, Sam,
But
but
not
the
everybody
snapshot,
does. Yeah.
when they climbed over the border is, they're illegal.
Yes, exactly right.
And those are the numbers that they're being based on.
Right, because you can't,
Yeah,
if you
but-
have
but-
all those millions of people, Sam, that come over the
But
border,
it's-
they're not
it's-
handing out vouchers
I
for
understand,
everybody.
I understand that, but it's still misleading, okay? So if you only take the snapshot the minute they step foot over the border, and then an hour later they become legal, that's a problem, okay? But I'll tell you, when they do become illegal, you get the desk appearance.
And they don't show up.
And they don't show up, okay? The minute they don't show up, now
Yeah.
they're illegal,
Right.
and they can be deported,
Right.
okay? So that's the confusing part of
Okay,
it.
can you guys move over to the auto pen?
The auto pen,
Auto pen.
yeah.
Did they negate all of the,
There's an investigation, to my knowledge, there's an
Not yet.
investigation going on at the White House
Yeah,
about the auto pen business, and
that's not going anywhere.
I thought that they declared that all of the
So Sam, you think that's just a news filler? It's never gonna,
all the stuff that
Yeah.
happened with the auto pen, the last week he was in office, they negated,
Who negated?
the DOJ.
so they're
Somebody
putting people,
did.
they're
Is that
putting
what you
people back
wanted?
in jail?
They don't have the authority to do that.
I don't think so. I think
All
that they
right.
have to prove that it was done by somebody
Exactly
else.
right.
But they did say that staff did it, and that they had records that staff did it, and that Biden
But if
didn't
that's
do
the
it.
way we do stuff,
The use of the auto pen is established in many cases. Again, if you go back and read the Federal Register, there's a lot of presidential proclamations and executive orders that are pro forma. President never even sees them. It's like, okay, today is Mother's Day, all right? That's an auto pen signature. So the auto pen itself is a fine thing. It's the way it's used and the circumstances and the things that it's applied to. And to Evelyn's point, if you're going to prove that he signed or the auto pen signed things that shouldn't have been signed by auto pen, you're going to have to prove that. You can't just make a declaration.
so my
That-
birthday party,
you
my
know.
birthday card wasn't signed by Joe Biden?
Maybe, okay?
No, he wasn't saying
A lot of things are, and the auto pen has been used for
That's a
many years.
disappointment.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
But, you know, they're gonna have to prove that the president was completely unaware that these signatures were being done in his name. They're gonna have to prove that. And,
it'll take a long time to do that.
yeah,
if at all.
I mean, that's a tall order.
Well,
I'm
they
not
didn't do
sure.
cognitive stuff, and if they did,
Yeah,
they didn't
that's a-
release it.
That's a tall order.
So there are questions out there with regard to that. And there's, a number of other things to talk about besides the shutdown. But what I did, John, was I sent you via messenger, there's a big push by a lot of organizations, not only just in the Merrimack Valley, but in the state of Massachusetts and around the country on food banks and how you can contribute to them. We do locally, we have the Merrimack Valley Food Bank, and if you don't want to donate food, there is money, and then they buy things. It is tax deductible. There's a Chelmsford Food Bank. It's behind the town offices in the center of Chelmsford. And you want to check online for all of these locations to find out when they are open, when they're receiving donations. Now, if you don't want to donate food, there's many of them that will take the paper bags, clean paper bags, because they need those to distribute food. And they also will take gift certificates so that they can go buy food. But what it is that there are lists of what you should and shouldn't donate. First of all, don't donate anything that has an expiration date that's old.
Or things that they're in short supply of, they'll give you that list too.
Right,
Yeah.
and so, there's a number of.
You talk about SNAP benefits?
No, this is
We're
food
talking about food
pantries.
pantry stuffs, and there seems to be a larger push for the food pantry, and it's interesting. I saw a post in
Food pantry wants your money. They don't want your candy.
Well, they do list what they
spaghetti.
would like you to donate.
They don't want SpaghettiOs. They want your money.
I understand, but I have never seen the Chelmsford Food Pantry say, "Please give us money."
No, a lot of people.
They want the groceries
a
so
lot
they
of
don't have to
people-
go buy
A
them.
lot of people donate groceries to the Chelmsford, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And when they use food merchants that deliver the food, they don't have to go buy anything. It's on a computer. They order from a vendor, or they order
all
from
I'm
a company.
telling you is what is online.
Send me
If you
25
want to donate
cases.
money to them, feel free to donate money.
of
I'm not
peas.
saying you can't. I'm only saying
Oh, they'll
that
take anything.
there's a list.
Yeah.
Just like with the Wish Project.
Hey, Sam, can you
there's a
knock off the
list.
drum?
Oh, sorry.
So I don't know. Do you have access? Do you have access to that on Messenger? That I sent you some of the stuff that and articles on food pantries, and what you can donate and what you shouldn't donate. Because if you donate Hamburger Helper, that means that the person has to go buy hamburger. So you want to, if you donate, say, crackers and tuna fish, that's something that even if you don't have mayonnaise, you can certainly eat it if you have a can opener. So there, cans of soup. There's a whole list of items and paper goods. like toilet paper and napkins
Yeah,
and
they'll
paper
take stuff
towels.
that isn't food, too.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to take a look at those lists. They are online. I don't know if John can't get it up. There's a lot of areas that anybody can
Yeah.
take a look at if you want to donate. And there are a lot of charities out there where they have places that if you go on Amazon, you can certainly order stuff and it can be shipped to the place that will distribute it. And because a lot of people don't just want to give money because they don't know where it's going.
Well,
So if you
that's a
want
good
to know what it is that your money buys, you buy it.
Right.
And then you can deliver that.
That's how I feel about it. I mean, we make periodic donations, and we do the food. We buy the food and take it to the,
Right.
because we
So-
want to control what the money is spent for, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, but there are those that would rather write a check
Of
to them.
course.
Right, and that's
take
okay.
and take the
Of course.
deduction.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to write a
You
check.
can't take the deduction for the can of SpaghettiOs you dropped off.
Well, you can, but
No.
it's a lot more complicated.
How would one do
You
that?
have to have the receipt.
You have to have the receipt.
And it has to be
and-
separate.
Yeah, it's to John's point, it's a lot easier to write a check.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll even take donations off charge cards. It just depends
Yeah.
on where you're going, what you're doing, and.
So if I'm looking at SNAP benefits, could be paused starting November. Is that the one you want to look at? From
I don't have
Simon Cataldo?
Yes, if you put that up. So our state rep, Simon Cataldo, put up a whole lot of information as far as where the food pantries are, and then other things that if SNAP benefits are reduced for anyone.
It's coming
Whether-
up a little pokey, but it's here. So what do you want to know about that?
So this was on Facebook, so you could go on his Facebook page, and since
I'm
we
gonna
are on
just copy
Facebook,
this.
and it can, so
Work.
it says swipe for food access resources, and then it's got Project Bread's food source hotline, and there's, I think he
I'm doing
lists,
another way. I can't stitch it up, so we'll do it this way.
there's a whole lot of information. See all that information? That's on Facebook. You have an Acton food pantry. He gives you when they're all open so that
Yeah,
you
good
can
information.
go. You have Open Table. I don't think there's any charge for that food, and
No, there isn't.
And it's at usually it's at the senior center.
Yep.
And Tuesday evenings you can get a meal there, and so there's a lot of resources. So if you need to access it, that's on the left. If you need to give something, that's on the right. And it tells you all of the things that you can do. So I thought that was excellent that he would post all that information.
When did that-
Collectively,
I didn't see that. When did that go up? Yesterday?
I think so, because I think I forwarded that to
Thank you,
John
Simon
yesterday.
Cataldo.
Yes, that was very good.
But my-
Nice service
my
to
issue
offer
is this,
his
okay?
constituents.
That I want to bring to light.
No relation to the garden center
No.
guy.
If the SNAP benefits are shut off, it'll be interesting to sit over at Market Basket and see who shows up with their cart of groceries and forks over their card, and they go, "We're not taking this."
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who don't watch the news. They don't talk to a soul.
He's right. He's absolutely
It'll
right.
be interesting to see
Yeah.
how many people are clueless
So what
that their
happens
benefits have been shut off.
now? Do you think the store personnel will say we don't take the card, or do you think they'll try to use the card and it won't work?
Oh, they'll try to use the card, it won't work, so that it gets out
Right.
of their
That's what I
off
think.
their
Yeah. Yeah.
responsibility on a personal level to make a
And
decision.
they're going to say, "I'm not putting this stuff back." Walk
Well,
away.
obviously, and the question would be whether or not they're just going to walk out,
Should
or
they
they're
put
going
the
to throw
stuff
a
back, or
fit.
should they just march out?
Yeah. Or
Well,
they're gonna
I'll tell
throw
you,
a fit.
yes, you're right. I hadn't thought about that, but I think he's right.
I'm going to leave this slide up
Yep.
for 30 more seconds, and then you'll never see it again.
Right,
So
so
if you
I
want to
think,
take a picture of this with your
Lot of
smartphone, please
A
do.
lot of people probably don't have any idea that this is going on. They're going to find out Saturday, right?
well, 2
Yes,
days.
they are. It's kind of like voting day. I tell you how, thank God Lowell instituted at least texting us to go vote. It's fantastic. I'm getting one text a week about voting. It's great. Does Chelmsford text you to vote?
No, I
No.
don't think so. No.
You might get emails if you've registered your email
I'll
with
have
the
to
town.
I'll have to beat up Paul.
I think the
next time he
town.
comes.
I think the town clerk maybe sends out one thing, and that's it. But it's not.
But
No,
how would
I
a
don't get it on
commoner
my
know
text.
it's time to vote?
But it's not repetitive.
How would a commoner? See, because you have people out there in Chelmsford, just like Lowellians,
Yeah.
cut the cable. They don't watch News Center
Yeah,
5.
well, they wouldn't know if
They don't listen to the WCAP.
Nope, they
They get
wouldn't
no
know.
newspaper. They listen to music radio all day long.
They wouldn't know.
Well, if they drive around, there's always some banner or there's
That's-
a
yeah.
lean-to in
It
the
says, vote
centers.
for Evelyn.
Well, no, it says vote Tuesday,
Whatever.
November 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, there are
haven't seen
signs
it. I
a lot
haven't
of
seen any.
places.
A lot of people don't pay attention to the signs.
Sam,
It's true.
you gotta lean into the mic, buddy.
They don't pay attention to
Right,
the
but sometimes you
signs.
gotta sit up straight because it hurts.
My back. yeah, I
Okay,
have
so
to
we
rest
can
my
take
back.
this off. There was another one I think I sent you, I'm not sure. Maybe what I ought to do is
Evelyn,
just
you-
go on.
All right,
Let's
Thank
go
you.
on
Thankfully,
Facebook.
You send me a lot of stuff.
So
Ev. I'll
that's,
go
No,
look.
this was just yesterday.
from Simon Cattell.
Just yesterday.
So, I had shared a lot of stuff. Get my other glasses on.
Which I'm sorry I didn't read.
No, don't worry about that.
I was tied up with kids yesterday.
All right, what I'm trying to do is go here. All right, so here we are. And then,
We had to carve our pumpkins.
yes, so I did that. And
This one?
then, oh yeah, I like that one. During shutdown, we pay our,
That's
during
a good,
a
I like that.
shutdown, the new rule, this is a new rule. That during a
it's
shutdown,
a wish.
yeah, I know, instead of paying Congress, we pay our troops and federal workers.
Yep.
And if you can't pay the troops and federal workers, then you don't pay Congress because they're federal workers. And you don't give them benefits either.
I think that's, I like that.
And then, let me see.
Well, you know
this
what Dick
one was.
Mosier used to say, nobody cares until it affects you.
Okay, yeah. Now, there was one that says, this was learned from those in need. And this has to do with the SNAP benefits also. That if you give boxed mac and cheese, so apparently that's a common thing.
Yeah.
It's useless without milk and butter.
Good point.
Boxed milk is a treasure for cereal-loving kids. So boxed milk would be something that might be a priority that you would want to
You
give.
mean like in a cardboard milk
Yes,
carton?
yes.
Is that what that means?
Yes, it's
Okay.
processed.
All right.
Pasta and spaghetti sauce everywhere. Canned goods help more if you have a pop top because not everybody has a can opener.
Oh, give me a freaking break. Not everybody has a pencil. Oh, no. Send everybody a pencil in the mail.
Cooking oil is a rare luxury.
Sam, you want to read these two?
Yep. Number one, what goes on between the left and the right is so petty. I agree. They should be looking out for we the people, not playing politics.
That's right.
A lot of it's theater, it's right. Second thing, and then I'm going to go back to the first after I finish reading it. Canned goods have an expiration date. This is a question for Evelyn, but do these canned goods really go bad after the expiration date? What's the answer?
No. There's a whole list of explanations about good by, sell by, use by, and what I'll try to do is to see if I can. Well, John could look that up, and we could put it up there.
No, it's all about liabilities. Lawyers run everything.
Well, part of the reason that they
No
started...
matter what happens, the people who run your organization, we're going to call a lawyer, have them read this.
Yep.
Okay, so I give you an expired
That's right.
can of SpaghettiOs, and you happen to catch the flu. Now, they call Morgan & Morgan. that
I think we're going to an extreme here.
Evelyn gave me a can of SpaghettiOs that made me sick. I kept the can. It's expired by 1 month. I'm suing Evelyn's shoes off. And more. So now you're going to go hire a lawyer. The other person gets a free, because their Morgan & Morgan works for free. And what do you
Unless they
think the
win.
settlement's going to be, Sam?
A third or whatever the settlement is.
Yeah, they
That's
usually
that's
get
what the
at-
lawyer
at-
gets.
So
least
that's
a
why
third.
you're not going to get expired food.
Well,
right, but
to-
you
to
want to
your
be
point,
cautious,
yeah, to
no
your-
matter what it is. You want to be
Not picking
cautious.
on Morgan & Morgan, but
I have had canned goods over the years that the date on the can was very good, but the can had expanded, which means it's not good,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm not
right,
opening it.
was
Right.
dented.
So I threw it away. So
You mean you didn't send it down the composter and rinse out the can and recycle
No.
it?
I didn't want to open it in case it exploded in my
What
face.
kind of chintz for tear are you?
Well, I'm a very good recycler, but
No, you're not.
Anyway, that's your opinion. You don't watch what I do.
You should have
would
opened
drive
that
you nuts.
can and recycled it.
Well, again,
With a mask on and gloves and a hazmat suit.
with an expanded can, you don't know what the result's
You don't know
gonna
what's
be.
in there,
Right.
so you got to be careful. You can't breathe it. So
So we should
the
be paying the trash guys hazard
You
pay.
should not,
it's irrelevant.
you
One little
shouldn't eat,
can.
you shouldn't eat anything that's
I'm
past
just
its
pulling your leg how
expiration
one
date.
thing leads to another.
Oh no, I
When
got
Morgan
you
and
there.
Morgan's around.
I thought about doing that briefly, and I said I'm not gonna test this one because this was really big, and I don't throw that many things like that away. I mean, I am like the recycling queen, but we can look up all of the details on that, and that doesn't mean that anything is bad. And I'm not going to go into details because people probably might throw up this morning. So you have all this list of what you should and shouldn't do when you're making your.
This is another one of the 1 million texts that Evelyn sends me a week.
I like number 12. Tuna and crackers make an easy lunch.
Right, well, I
like
made that comment.
That's good.
And then
Yeah.
peanut butter and
And
jelly
jelly.
are common, and sandwich bread isn't. In other
let me
words,
ask
if you
you
send
guys,
it, you should
maybe-
send a loaf of bread.
You Chelmsford people don't eat this stuff. What's better, peanut butter and jelly or a fluffernutter?
Peanut butter and jelly.
I agree.
I'll take a fluffernutter any day
Well,
of the
you
week.
will, but you asked which is better. Better, define better. Better in terms of health or in what
I
it
think
tastes?
The hell with my head. If you want health, go eat some straw.
There you go.
Get out there with
Straw's
the
not
horses
good.
and go eat some hay.
Yeah, right, that's not good. We're
I'm
not a
not looking
horse.
for healthy, I'm looking for tasty.
I'm not
Okay, so now if you go
marshmallow
through
guy.
this list, if you want to take a picture of this and you go through this list, this will give you some idea if you are first-time donators to any kind of a food bank. You know, there's a lot of other things, and 19 might give you an idea that toothpaste, soap, packaged soap. A lot of times when we used to travel a lot, I'd keep everything that they had small containers of, whether it was the soap, the shampoo, the body lotion, the conditioner, whatever it was, and then I would donate that to Wish or some, like the food bank, and those are all small quantities, but at least they can be used, and they're all prepackaged. And then everybody loves stovetop stuffing. So I thought that was something that would be useful.
You mean I have to cook this? I can't just open it up like a bag of chips and consume it? You're going to make me cook this?
I'm not making you do anything.
That's good, because I would just want to open up my fresh produce, brings you smiles, and just eat it. I don't want to cook it.
I understand that, but you can do whatever you want. Now, the other thing that I wanted to just touch on. Do you have any?
Okay, Sam.
I think the grocery stores will post a notice at the entrances. Okay, that's probably right.
That's a
Yeah.
good suggestion too for them.
I'm listening to my music on my headset, my earbuds. I'm not reading anything going
Yeah, I
in
know.
the store.
But the thing is they can say, well, at least we
Good
let
point,
you know.
DW. Thanks.
Thank you.
That's probably, I
Now, do you
Let's
have-
see, did Evelyn send me any other magic?
I did. I sent you some pictures. Not that it's after that. I sent you some
gonna
pictures
go before
this morning.
this?
No, after. Keep going. After that one, and that one, and that one. Maybe you didn't get it. Keep going.
That's it, kid.
Well,
Oh,
I
yes.
sent you one that had the pictures of Jamaica. There
Oh.
were 4 pictures that they had posted this morning,
Yeah,
but they had
got-
them yesterday.
They got clobbered.
And they definitely did. Do you have any pictures of Jamaica? You
I
had
have
some
one,
video.
when we visited there, it's a nice place to visit.
Right, well, it's very,
I was
they devastated
very
areas
pleased to
of it.
find
It's
out
underwater.
nobody in Jamaica died. When I watched the video, Ellen and I sitting there
Is
watching.
that what they said?
Yeah, so far, they haven't found dead people.
Well, wait, I don't know, probably eating supper, whatever. So I'm sitting there with my wife, Ellen, and my favorite sister-in-law, Judy. We all live together. And so they're saying, wonder about Jamaica. I says, well, I'll put it on YouTube. So I go on YouTube and press down, the Comcast thing, you talk to it. And I said, YouTube, live Jamaica. And they have these kids who are in their 20s at the seashore like we would be, watching the big waves smash into the seawall. It was really something to see. It's great to see how silly youth acts in a storm. And I knew at that point, Jamaica's got to be in pretty good shape to have their kids notified this storm's there, to know to actually go down and look at the wall. I was very happy to see that stuff. And then they showed us the heavy rain. And at one point, we found one YouTuber that was driving around with his friend in a car, driving down streets, and they're showing how trees are down and people are walking through water that was over their ankles. And it was an interesting live feed. So if you're interested in looking at live stuff ever, what's going on in the world, you can say, well, a bomb went off here, but whatever happened. Just go to YouTube and say live, whatever country it is. Fascinating, the stuff you pull up there.
Well, I think there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's also out there, changing the subject briefly, is the ballroom that's being constructed at the White House, and everybody is all so up in arms about everything. However, there are pictures, and someone had said that when Jackie Kennedy did a tour of the White House, there was a picture of what the architects had drawn up in 1901 as far as what it would look like. And apparently the support for this says reviving a 125-year-old vision for the White House. And this was under Theodore Roosevelt when he started redoing things. And he built the West Wing because he had so many kids initially, and then it got modified. I was always surprised that I didn't hear, and because I'm old enough, too much uproar when Nixon took out the pool that JFK put in and did something different.
I thought that was awful when he did that.
And then nobody said anything about when Truman
Actually,
gutted the White House
Well, that was,
to redo stuff, but he did it because structurally the building wasn't working well, but he had to gut it,
Well,
so
that-
anything that was on the
yeah,
inside
and-
left.
and there's
Hey, I'm
an,
just going to change channels for 1 second here.
there's an,
Drake at Access, they had their meeting, their annual meeting at, and Gary Busey always does a bang-up job. So check out, this is the stage before they got there. And a lot of smiles.
And
They had,
food.
look at the food they had.
beautiful, the cakes.
You and the food.
Oh, okay, Ev, you can go sit down, but this is great stuff.
Oh, I just find it amusing.
Look at this. Everybody's going after the food.
Well, of course, free food.
But this is the big studio at Drake at Public Access. Been out there a bunch of times with Phil and John.
Oh, look at the salad. Looks
doing
like it's
shows. And
a Caesar salad.
this must be the board. I don't know this guy's name,
It looks like Chris Lavalley.
but
Yeah,
this
but-
is Phil
But it
Tebow,
No, Drake it.
and this is Gordy. I can't think of Gordy's last name, but good guys.
It's all
So
on the
congratulations
website.
on your nice meeting, guys. And the reason you guys are so successful out there, you have excellent leadership in Gary Muse. Gary Muse is nobody better at running a public access TV station than Gary Muse.
Well, good for Gary.
So
Back over to you.
Getting,
I think
Yeah.
in terms of what they're dealing with as far as this ballroom thing goes, they don't like Trump and they don't like anything he's doing. And even though everybody, you have all these clips out there of many of the current elected officials that are Democrats and former presidents that have said exactly the same thing in the past.
well,
And they've changed their opinion for some reason.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, there's a segment of the population, no matter what Trump does, it's wrong. Doesn't matter. It's wrong. Okay, so there's a segment of population who thinks that way. But I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit. I'm not happy about this situation. And we'll start with Truman. Now, the gutting of the White House, that was a necessity. The White House was falling down. Okay, they had structural reports. Floors had actually collapsed. What Truman was really criticized for was when he added the balcony in 1949. He added a balcony, and that was all done the right way historically and through Congress and everything. But boy, he was really criticized for that. Okay, so to your point, this isn't a new thing. What I don't like about what Trump is doing with this ballroom, he's not going through any of the protocols that he should go through, even though the government isn't funding it, okay? He seems to have taken the attitude, look, because I'm paying for it and the taxpayer isn't, I can do whatever I want. And I disagree with that. This is the people's house. It should go through the historical, it should go through all the protocols, okay? It's very nice of the president to donate the funds. That's wonderful. I think that's great.
Do you think it would get built?
No, probably not, but that's not the point. That's not the point.
That's my point. My
Yeah.
point is
That's not
that,
the point.
like everything else that deals with this particular president,
Yeah.
that if he went, and I'm not saying that those are the proper channels. I think that building codes and all of the other things that goes along with
Yeah.
anything has to be achieved.
Well, I don't think building code is an issue. Of course, the building codes are going to be
And so
followed.
I think that has to happen. But I
Right.
think if you go before any board that's in Washington DC, they would say, I'm sorry, but you can't build that.
Okay.
And no matter what it is he
Well,
wants to do.
Maybe so, but that's the downside. Okay, I want to put an addition onto my house. Everybody on the planning board hates my guts. And I go before the planning board and they say, sorry, Chase, you can't do it for these reasons. And I say, well, I knew you were going to do that, so I'm going to build it anyway. No. And that's the problem I have
Well,
with
he
this.
wouldn't have done it if he was told not to. He would put it before and he would appeal it.
Not
Okay,
not
let me
sure.
So we
ask
have
you-
some text here.
Sam,
No.
read these, please.
I saw a video this morning of the devastation. This is talking about Haiti, I'm guessing. Lots of people died in Haiti from mudslides.
But
Okay.
what about Jamaica?
Yeah, well,
The report is nobody died in Jamaica.
Wow.
okay.
And it's headed towards Bermuda.
Haiti
No.
is a different situation. Do you think they will put new pickleball courts at the White House? I'm surprised the orange guy didn't put in a putting green.
Well, just give him time. He's
Well,
only
they
been
already
there a
have
year.
one. Eisenhower put in the putting green. Okay, so.
Right, and nobody was up in
Yeah.
arms when they spent, from what I read,
They were mad at Ike
it
when
was
he put in his
director-
putting green.
Put a
$350
director out to
million
drink
to
it.
put a basketball court
I
in.
have forgotten Gordy's last name, it's Scott.
They were mad
Thank
at
you,
Ike
Janie.
for putting in his putting green.
Yeah, anyway, so we did, so there's a number of
Yeah.
other articles I had, I just want to touch, because we only have like a few minutes, and then we'll talk about food briefly.
Yep.
We had, I sent you an article.
What we're looking at there is a murky cross point across the city. And
That's
that's
Cross
the kind
Point?
of,
It's
That's
misty out there
Cross
too, that's
Point.
probably why it's so fuzzy.
Oh.
It's misting out there.
I used to work there.
I sent you an article about personal flying vehicles. I thought that was kind of cool, like the Jetsons.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You responded to it.
I know I did, but I don't remember where you sent it. You
What does
sent
it say? What does the article say?
Messenger or,
No, I sent that on a text message, because all articles are on text.
oh, I'll go for
And
it.
then there also is in Massachusetts, I think it takes effect Saturday, November 1st, and that is transparency in wages.
Yep.
And so what it does, it tells you have to have a range of wages. There's pros and cons with regard to that. Number one, you can see what the range would be if you are getting a new job. However, what it also does is, since they put out a range for positions, the people that are currently in the positions, then the problem might be that the company, the business, or the government may say, well, Sam, you're at the top of what this is. We're not going to give you any raises, because if we do, we're going to have to change the range for our new hires.
They already do. Businesses already do that. They've been doing that for years.
I understand that, but the thing is, a lot of people don't realize that, and they think
Yeah.
this is a wonderful thing since sliced bread, and it isn't. So, food. For anybody out there, I did bake, and I did make stuff. John will show you some of it, but I did make a cranberry orange
Where is it?
almond bread. It's in the container over there.
Oh.
And then I also made cottage cheese egg bites.
Oh, there's the drink.
Yep, and we did go to the Lowell Senior Center for lunch.
Excuse me, Lowell.
We got bounced out of drinking.
Right.
Yeah, well,
You have to make a reservation.
you have to make a reservation a week in advance and Drake it. You have to make a reservation in Tewksbury. So yesterday, 4 of us went to the Lowell Senior Center, and this is what we had. Under the hot dog, under the hamburger bun, was a chicken cutlet, very juicy,
With cheese.
and it had cheese, it had barbecue sauce.
Yep.
You had your salad.
It's a fresh, crisp salad.
The salad
Yeah,
was
it wasn't
very
wet.
good. The
It wasn't
salad
wet.
was good, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't wet.
I thought it was good.
So there's pros and cons
Yeah.
between that and what was in Chelmsford. In Lowell, they waited on you.
Mhm.
I think that has something to do with health issues.
You sat down at the table and they brought you the food.
That's
Right.
correct. And then in Chelmsford, you had to go up like cafeteria style, except that you were served so much on a plate when you took the plate
Yeah.
and the tray.
Going through a chow line, right.
And so.
Now, what's the other thing on the left?
This is
That's,
Chelmsford?
Oh,
and
that's
that was
Chelmsford.
Chelmsford. You can see the portion size; it's very different. But I was fine. Was fine with both of them. I've had my constructive criticism on both of them, and sometimes people will take the apple and that's their snack for later. That was supposed to be the dessert. I don't know how many people actually took the apple, or they tossed it, or they gave it away.
Now, Lowell is economizing on their plates because they put everything on one plate, whereas Chelmsford uses
At least two.
at least two, okay?
And it looks like they got the same kind of milk. So if it's
No,
government.
Chelmsford had 2% milk, Lowell had 1%. I don't know the
there
But
you
difference.
is it
go.
the same brand?
2%.
Yeah, it looks like Dairy
Yeah.
Pure.
Yep. So it may be subsidized by the federal government, and that's who has the contract.
1% versus 2%.
Yep.
It makes a big difference in taste, I think.
Well, it does.
I
like
found them
whole
both
milk.
yummy,
Yeah, I thought the milk was fine.
but
Yeah.
I thought the Lowell food was tastier.
Yeah.
But there again, there were so many people, I gotta find the video.
Yeah, there were a lot more people in Lowell, but then it's also a city versus the town.
Plus, they had bingo afterwards. That might have been a draw, too.
Yeah.
I'll
Well, they
go
also
find-
have other events there. And you had early voting at that site.
You had bingo going on.
Yeah, there was a lot of
We
activity.
get kicked out of our
It
chairs
was hard
because
to
we were
get a
sitting
place
with a
to
bingo
park.
caller a skull.
Yeah.
Well, they told us to get out because they needed
Get
a
out.
table for bingo.
No, they were
The
nice.
thing that impressed me about the Lowell lunch, again, to John's point, was the freshness of the salad, because especially if it's been sitting on a serving table for a while, it was almost as if the salad had just been made
Well,
freshly.
it could have,
Yeah,
because
and it was
when we
very
got
good.
there, there was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so they said there's going to be a delay in being served. And then
Right.
they had the people that didn't get served raise their hands, and they said they're making the food now because they didn't have enough food, so they
That's
could
a
have had
point.
that salad.
So we got the freshest food, is
We
what you're
could have
saying.
got the freshest
There you
food.
go.
And so that was kind of interesting. And
It wasn't bad.
we want to make sure that everybody knows that the four of us that went, because Glenn went, and then Sam went, I went, John went, were all over 70. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back. Facebook is still going to be on, but we'll come back for
Waiting for Vezina.
Dawn Patrol
Maybe we'll have
after 7
music,
o'clock.
maybe we won't. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what goes on.
So sorry, no music today. I don't know what's going on with my computer.
Well, I feel sorry
Because
for
the
anybody
music
who's in the middle
was
of
not
the
working
project.
yesterday, it's not working today.
That's why.
So
I
you're
always
stuck
use
with a
local-
stagnant image that's cross point, looking from my house over here on Highland Street. And gloomy day. We'll be back. Okay, they're getting coffee over there, so comment from the audience.
And that makes a big difference.
The taxpayer is paying for the food and service. Why do seniors need to make a reservation?
That's a good question. Well, they want to get a count on the food.
Well,
You can sit in the middle until he
it
gets
was
here.
I'll explain that in a second. The
'Cause I
schools
do-
now throw away more food in one
he
day
doesn't come with
than
the
your
food.
senior center ever will. Talking
I'm surprised
about
he
calling
doesn't
Morgan and
show up.
Morgan.
Right?
You guys good to go?
Yes.
Here you go.
Okay.
You're on.
Welcome back. I'm Evelyn Thoren. I am your host up until just before 8 o'clock this morning. It's City Life. Sam Chase is my co-host. We're hoping at some point Bob Hoey could be a guest on the program.
hope
He doesn't
so.
have to come and co-host with us. We do miss him, and he is doing Tuesdays. So if you are missing Bob, you can always watch on Tuesdays.
He's doing pretty
In
well.
Chelmsford, you'd watch from 7 to 8. And John McDonough's here as our producer, adding his 2 cents worth. I think with inflation, it's probably now a nickel.
It's at least a dime.
We'll have to look it up. It might be an interesting thing to do. So we're waiting on Vezza Noon. I mean, if he doesn't come, that's fine. We always have plenty to talk about on this program. And so, John, you had a text that came up.
I put it up. I read it. We're good.
Oh, okay. And so, when they talk about the schools throwing out food, when we have Jay on, maybe I'll give him a heads up and ask him what happens to the food. There's a lot of places now that if you don't open the milk or you don't use the fruit or there's something that is prepackaged, there's a table that you can put it on that anybody can take it so that it doesn't end up in the trash.
Right, well, that's good.
Yeah, so that's one. And there are other places, local places.
Well, you wouldn't put milk out till it's going to expire.
Well, you could put it out for a day, maybe.
Well, you just have it for that one day.
Yeah.
And there may be a refrigerator.
Oh, Lowell
that
has gigantic refrigerator. They have a nicely done kitchen.
and they may have,
I don't know what Chester.
talking about
Chester looks like it has a
schools.
nice kitchen too.
yeah.
They've been
They've been renovated.
last 10 years, they've
And
been
I've been out to
renovating
Tewksbury
them.
for different things where they cook there, and they got a well-provided kitchen as well in Tewksbury.
Yeah, we'll be able to see it because we're going to go there at some point.
Yeah. So next week we made a reservation with Drake.
Yep, so,
Yesterday I talked to Drake and Tewksbury, and so it says you can have a reservation a week in advance. So Evelyn convinced me, well, you better call now. So I called up Drake. They took our name, so they're expecting 4 of us next week. And then Tewksbury, when I called them to try to go to Tewksbury instead of Drake, the woman out there, she says, we don't send anybody away hungry. He said, I'll pull stuff out of the freezer and make food for you if you're hungry. So I thought that was pretty sweet of the girl in Tewksbury.
That's good.
Dedication, good people.
but it doesn't hurt to make the reservations.
No.
Just because it's
It makes their life,
Protocol.
it makes
It's
their life a
easier.
little easier.
yeah,
Right.
it's common courtesy, things along those lines.
Maybe courtesy isn't so common anymore.
I don't know. So we were very,
No, excellence in government service isn't there anymore.
Was it
I
ever?
mean, what the woman at
depends on
Tewksbury
the
offered was
individual.
excellence in government service.
I think now excellence in government service is dependent upon the individuals that you hire. Some are good, some are not. My sister was trying to get some information, but because the government shut down,
I think the unions have
office was
ruined, the unions
closed.
have ruined government service.
and so when the office was closed, per se, but when she went in, the lady that was there, she said was very nice and polite, and she says, I'll take down your information. When we open, we'll be able to get it to you as soon as we can. And so she was very cordial to my sister when she was asking for some information
Oh,
about
you
that
have-
particular office. So you have some very nice people, and then you have some people that aren't, and then realize that
It's-
some people have bad days.
It's like that,
Same, I'm watching the back door for Vesna to show up
okay.
if he's coming, but
I voted for and support Trump, but putting a picture of the auto pen in place of Biden is disrespectful. I'm not sure I understand.
What the picture is.
DW, if you can elaborate on that, that'd be.
I don't know what, I don't quite understand what he's getting at there, so.
Well, I think that
he
all
can also call
politicians,
if he wants.
right, I think
Right.
that all politicians are doing things that some of us would call disrespectful.
Well, I never knew the auto pen existed.
Yeah,
I don't know if I did or didn't.
It's been around for
A while.
a long time.
We can
long
look up
time.
who started it.
I don't think it's okay. I thought President Trump signed my birthday card, and I thought that President Bush signed my birthday card, Clinton sent me one,
I don't think so. No.
No, I
and
always thought it
Biden
was.
sent me one.
I
I
thought it was a stamp, like for deposit only, or paid, and then you fill in the date and the check number. I always thought that it was a stamp thing that they had.
I thought it was printed
and a
by-
photocopy, and then they just filled your name in.
I thought it was printed on my card.
I didn't think
before
that
I
at all.
got
I
it.
never thought any of those.
I don't think they ever signed anything, but
Yeah.
the auto pen surprised me. It's deceptive.
It's definitely
And
deceptive.
all parties use
And
it.
I think that's why every time Trump signs something, he does this to show that it's his signature.
Oh,
You know,
you
and
can
I'm
be sure.
like,
You can
oh
be
my
sure
God,
that's
talk
why.
about showmanship.
He's a theater guy. You can be sure that's why he does
Oh,
it. And what a
God.
signature!
I know.
I actually
How the
like.
heck did you do that?
I actually like his signature, and unlike a lot of people, I'm going to get criticized because I'm complimenting Trump on something. But unlike a lot of people, if you look at his signatures on successive documents, he is one of
Consistent?
these rare people who makes his signature look very consistent. Most people don't sign their name the same way,
No, I don't.
and most people don't. But his signature, so I'm saying he signed a lot of things, okay, in order for his signature
And
to
over
be so
time, my
consistent.
signature has evolved.
Yeah.
My mother's signature will look exactly the same every single time. I had when I did a lot of craft projects, had a business, did all kinds of things. I had a friend that did the decorative painting, and every single, you would have thought a machine made it. Every single piece that she did that was the same when you're mass producing stuff.
Is she right-handed?
I think she was.
She writes with her right hand?
She died quite a few years ago, but everything looked exactly the same. I never could even paint the same. It was like there was some kind of a way in which I wanted everything to be unique to the person that was going to purchase it. Things looked similar, but there was also
But the older
thing in
folks,
it.
and I'm talking even people my age, because I remember, they used to, in the elementary school,
they drill it in
100 years ago, they beat the penmanship into you. And today, I ask my grandchildren, they spend very, very little time
They
on
need
that.
to spend
Yeah.
something because there are no signatures. If you only can print, it's not a signature the way it's defined. So it'll be interesting to see how it works, even though you can just put an X someplace if you can't sign your signature.
Well, what they tell you is that if you can't do cursive and your normal writing style is printing, and that happens to be your signature, they say if while you're printing you actually connect the letters,
It's the same.
they'll take that as a
Yeah,
signature.
well, it's kinda
Now
weird.
I don't know if that has any legal import or not. I have
I don't know,
no
we'd
idea.
have to look that all up.
But
Anybody out
that's
there
what
would be
I've-
interesting to know.
That's what I've been told anyway. So I don't know.
So, as far, we talked in the first hour about if you're going to donate to any of the food banks, and there's lists, and one of our Chelmsford State Rep, Simon Cataldo, had put up on his Facebook page, that's Simon Cataldo, he put up all the information on the Acton and the Chelmsford food pantries, and when they were open, and then on the opposite side, when you can donate. And then there was a list of things that you could donate. So all that stuff appeared the first hour, but it's
I just
also online.
resurrected it.
There, I'm going to guess it's probably also. I'm going to guess it's probably also on his website if you want to Google it that way.
Right. So if people need
So if
information.
you take your
and
fancy phone out of your pocket and take a picture of this
There you
slide,
go.
it might be helpful to somebody who needs food.
Now on the right is the what you can do to assist the food pantries.
Yes, and on the left is what you can do if you need it.
It's just the hours of operation, basically. Right?
Yeah. And so that can be of value to people that are out there. And there's a lot of resources besides this.
I've never heard of Project Bread's resource. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of Project
I
Bread.
heard
but-
of Project Bread,
Okay,
yes.
I never heard of that.
And then, as far as donating other types of items, you have the Wish Project that's in Chelmsford. You have other things that are like that, that you not donate necessarily food, but you could ask. And they also take things that would be like soap and shampoo and conditioner, and they'll also take paper products. So there's a lot of things that you can donate. And then I had the list of things that are better to donate than others. And if you donate peanut butter or peanut butter and jelly, donate a loaf of bread with it, because they got to use it on something. Or you could donate boxes of crackers. And instead of donating hamburger helper because they need hamburger to put with it, you can donate tuna fish and crackers.
Was that one you sent me, Eva? I'll go back on your thing and go find
Is
that.
there
Well,
anything?
you did put it up. You put it up in
I know,
the.
but I've got like
He's
55
got to
things
find
going
it.
over here.
Is
Oh,
there-
that's okay.
Is there anything else that you can mix with hamburger helper other than hamburger?
One of the things you can do is just make the pasta, and
And
if
add
you
the
have
hamburger.
sauce, you could have. You could put tuna fish with it. I wouldn't put it with tomato sauce. I'd put it.
What
If
is?
you have mac and cheese, you can put. If you use that, you need milk. Milk comes in cartons that are sealed. They're probably, what are they, a pint or a quart? You know, they're rectangular shaped, kind of like.
It's 8 ounces. It's a half a pint. The ones we had yesterday.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Oh.
There's milk that you can buy. It's usually if you go to the market basket, it's usually in the aisle where you bake things. You know, like you have cake mixes and pudding and Jello and
You're not talking about
and
condensed
spices.
milk, are you?
No, that's in a can,
Okay, right.
and you don't drink that.
I
You
hope
cook
not.
with that.
Yeah.
Evaporated milk is in a can, but I wouldn't. You could use that if you make macaroni and cheese. It just comes up very rich, unless you get the light, which
Well,
is fat-free. So
Well, you
they
can
have
cut it-
different kinds of
You
things.
can cut it with water.
Yeah, you could. But anyway, there is boxed milk, and that comes whole milk, 1%, 2%. There's boxed almond milk. There's boxed coconut milk. So there's different things of those that they're all processed. They have a expiration date on them. Those are things that you could donate to a food pantry that would go along with other things. Cooking oil is another thing they said that you could do, and I don't know if people know how to make powdered eggs, but in donating a dozen eggs, there's an expiration date on that too, and they're fragile, so I would never donate eggs. But that
Eggs
was
are
on my
like
list.
fishy. They send they send those back to the factory. They put them in a box again.
Yeah, you got to watch out for eggs.
Yeah, you got to be careful about an
There's a
awful
lot of
things.
code on the side of the box. So spend a little time on YouTube understanding how you can read that code, how
yeah.
old the eggs really are.
Right, and there's also all the stickers that's on the produce, and there's ways to read the codes on those produce and what you should and shouldn't be buying. They do recommend that you don't buy too much produce that comes out of China because there's no controls on what they use to grow
Fertilize,
them in,
right.
fertilize them, and water them. So you have to be very cautious about that. I was very surprised when I used to go back and forth to Florida that they had a lot of fields and they would use non-potable water on the fields. I didn't look that up, but it's stuff that you wouldn't drink. But if you wouldn't drink it, why would you put it to be absorbed by
Well,
tomato plants?
in India, back 1,000 years ago, when I was working for the company in Fitchburg, and I did a lot of international travel, and I had to make a trip to New Delhi, and I was told, of course they always tell you not to drink the water, but they also told me don't eat any vegetables, don't eat salad is what they were saying. So in other words,
Well, it might be
lettuce-
washed with the water.
yeah, that wasn't fully cooked because they said they use human waste as fertilizer, okay? And I said, okay, but I said, which was kind of a dumb question, I should have been able to figure it out, but I asked it anyway. I said, well, why is it that the Indians don't get sick? And they said, well, because their body is used to it, okay? But, so they've built up that, but if you as a foreigner come in here and you eat that, you're probably gonna get sick. So don't do it. That's what I was
Now,
told.
I was always,
Yeah.
this is a gross subject to talk about, but I mean, I always had wondered why they would use any human waste if you ate meat.
And I found your text about the,
It's available, I guess.
You don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. If you're a vegetarian, just like with a horse or a cow, you can use the excrement for
this
fertilizer.
is Jamaica Mon you're
Right.
looking at right here. Evelyn sent me this morning, and I just found it in my messages.
That's Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Jamaica Mon, no problem. Always have a good time in Jamaica.
Should be 3 or 4 other pictures I sent you. There's one.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
Well, that looks like it's,
That's cinder block, man.
Yeah.
yes. I was
Mighty
going to say
powerful
that's,
storm.
yeah.
Boy.
Well, they said it was.
It's amazing how the blocks stayed intact.
But if you get a strong enough lull, it's called Lull, they can pick that up, put it level again. It's gonna dig out around it.
It depends on the condition
Well,
of the other walls.
a Cat 5 hurricane, the winds have more force than in a typical tornado.
I would
They
guess
can,
water did that.
because it's
too. The
concentrated.
water and the wind together for sure.
For what, it's over time.
Yeah.
But they said this was a fast-moving storm in comparison to what it could have been and the damage that it could have done.
That doesn't look good.
That's the Black
Well, I guess
River in
every
St.
place,
Elizabeth, Jamaica.
every place has its downside. No place is ideal
So
to
if
live,
you-
right?
This is Spur Tree in Manchester, Jamaica.
So there's a lot of places you can donate, but Samaritan's Purse had already packed up stuff that they
I
were
never heard
going
of
to bring in.
Samaritan's Purse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's from Franklin Graham,
Oh, yeah.
the Billy Graham
Billy
stuff.
Graham's kid, Franklin
Yeah,
Graham.
he started
Yeah.
Samaritan's Purse. They go all over the
I
world.
stopped watching that when Jimmy and Tammy went off the
Yeah,
TV.
so Samaritan's Purse is online. There
This
also
is,
has presence
St.
on
Elizabeth.
Facebook.
The alligator pond. Well, they're gonna find some volunteers to clean up alligator pond. I don't think so. I'm
Well,
not gonna
they're-
go clean
they're-
that up.
Forewarning people
Alligator Pond.
everywhere that's on the islands is to be
But look at they
cautious
were
about
living
the
in-
alligators that will
Look
have
at the
moved in.
roofs, and the roof survived.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's all water. That's the problem.
This
Lot
is
of trees down.
Parks Road to Rock Hall
You're not,
in St. Andrew, Jamaica.
you're not traversing that road anytime soon.
No.
This is Montego Bay. I've been there. Yikes. What a mess in Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Now, were there any statistics on how often this type of storm will hit this area? Did
Never.
They
This
didn't
bad.
say anything about that?
Now we're back to the beginning. No, but that you could certainly take a look. They said it had, this hurricane was the most powerful one that they've had in recorded history since they started recording weather.
Okay,
They
that's
said-
a long time.
They said that the comparison was, I think, the 1930-something hurricane. That was the one that hit New England, and that destroyed an awful lot of stuff.
1938.
Yeah, and but a lot of problems in the earlier storms is they didn't have the communication.
Oh,
They didn't have the
know.
weather satellites.
Right.
They didn't know what was coming,
The
so
thing
they
just-
couldn't prepare
It
it.
just showed up, right?
Yeah,
And nobody
and-
was prepared.
Yeah, and so there was a whole lot of that, and I should ask my mother what her remembrances would be but she would have only have been 10 at the time,
She
or
might
18
remember.
or whatever it was. Well, she did remember some of it, but I haven't asked any of those questions recently.
Well, I was born in 1947, and when I was growing up in the 50s, my parents were still talking about the 1938 hurricane, okay? And what happened where I lived in Concord, it took out so many trees, and for some reason, I don't know why, well, the elm trees, of course, they had a problem with Dutch elm disease as well, but it took out all of the elm trees on Elm Street. So when I was growing up, there were no elm trees on Elm Street because the hurricane of 38 took those out.
Plus, Dutch elm disease got rid of them all.
The Dutch elm finished a lot of them off.
Yeah,
That's
and-
We used to
correct.
have elm trees all down Highland Street, all down Elm Street. Magnificent, gigantic trees.
It's nothing like an elm tree, and the elm tree is one of the least messiest trees to clean up after. If you've got trees in your yard, I mean, you know, obviously willow is the worst, and then the swamp maple is the second worst, and, you know, for things that they drop, right? But the elm trees are relatively clean trees to
I just
have.
want you to know this is Evelyn's favorite part of the show.
7:20.
Oh, you're gonna do announcements, all
We
right.
got
Yeah.
announcements.
So now we're doing announcements.
There you go.
So tonight, Kim Scott's having a party. Kim Scott's, it's today the 30th? Yeah, today's October 30th, so.
Yep.
The committee to re-elect Kim Scott, she's a fantastic city councilor. Kim invites you to campaign fundraiser Kim Scott, Lowell City Council District 5, October 30th, that's tonight, 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the yummy Cavallero Steakhouse. Have you guys ever tried Cavallero's?
Yes, it's wonderful.
Oh my God.
It's wonderful.
And so suggested donations
Yep.
start at $20 and go up, and that's
Now,
tonight.
is she running for her third term?
Likely that's true.
Yeah, she would, yeah.
Because she went from at-large, which where they all were,
Yeah.
to district last time, and she's staying for district this time.
Yeah, I think she's a good counselor.
She is.
Yeah.
Now, this is a pretty cool idea. If you have a tattered flag, they have a place in City Hall where you just walk in City Hall. It's the first, there's the basement where you get coffee and stuff, that's the basement. And there is the first floor where the city clerk and the tax collector is, or the tax receiver is. And it's on that level. And they have this flag. Got a tattered flag you want to get rid of, just bring it up there. Pretty cool idea.
Yep.
Moving right along for lunch. Today's Friday. No, today's Thursday, the 30th. And if you go out to the Shensford Senior Center, you're going to get a veterans breakfast. And then later on, you're going to get cheeseburger, lettuce, tomato, coleslaw, and peaches. And moving right along here, too many. Out in Dracut and in Tewksbury, today you're going to have crab cake with sauce, corn, tomato, cuke salad, with a roll and peach cobbler. What did the rest of that? Peach cobbler. Today, at the Senior Center in lovely Lowell, Massachusetts, the Senior Center in Lowell has breakfast and lunch 7 days a week, which is pretty cool. So Halloween dinner dances today.
They're not showing the food, though, for today, right?
We're going to show the food and the crowd. I think that's my last announcement. Yep, that's my last announcement. So get rid of this slide. Here is the crowd. When
Good-sized crowd.
Evelyn got over there yesterday, this is the crowd of people who were at the Lowell Senior Center for lunch. And there's a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
Chowing down. There's the food up the front there. And
We were sitting at the back.
not a bad. This is before we had got there.
Okay.
Now, we had sat, let me back up a little bit here. We had sat, the only seats left were way down here.
In front of the
So we
stage,
went
right?
in front of the stage, and food was yummy. Okay, I'm gonna close this slide. And we're gonna go after the food. What's going on here? Let's go, baby. Alrighty, put this guy up, that's what I wanna see. Okay, so.
Cross point.
Food is the Chinsford Senior Center, that's last week. Okay, here we are. So, looking at, this is what they gave us yesterday. So Sam, you're good at describing stuff. Tell us about yesterday's lunch at the Lowell
All
Senior
right,
Center.
well, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, first of all, an apple is an apple. There's not much you can do with that. But the main thing was the sandwich, which was a chicken cutlet, I would describe it that way, with a thin slice of cheese and some sort of barbecue sauce, which I thought was very interesting because it was a good balance between tart and sweet. Some of the barbecue sauces are too sweet, some are too tart. I thought it was a good balance. And I thought the roll was very fresh, okay? And so that was very good. But so I was kind of impressed with that. But what really impressed me was the salad, because a lot of times you get salad in a cafeteria type setting and the lettuce is kind of old and limp. This salad was exceedingly fresh, okay? And it had just the right amount of Italian or oil and vinegar, whichever you want, type dressing, which I like on a salad. It wasn't overdone. Sometimes people drench it with the dressing. So I thought it was very good. I thought the food was very good.
So a tip of the cap to
Yeah,
the people over at the Lowell
Yeah.
Senior Center. It was a yummy lunch.
it was good. And
Anything
as
else
John
you-
said earlier, we were waited on. We sat at the table and they brought it right to us. Didn't
Yeah, it
have
was
to do-
nice.
Didn't have to do anything.
It was nice. And when we go to drink it,
Yeah.
we're going to have to ask, why do you have to make a reservation? Do you know what you're going to
Yeah.
eat next Thursday? No, I don't know what I'm going to eat.
Now, you didn't have to make a reservation at Chelmsford, did you? Or
No.
did you?
No, we did not. We just
Okay.
walked in.
Just walked in, okay.
Right, so when I called.
And same thing in Lowell. We just walked in. But the
Yeah.
cool thing about Lowell was, they just tell you there's a donation box on the wall. If you want to make a donation, great. If you don't, that's okay too.
Yep.
In Lowell.
Right, so
But congratulations, Lowell. Nice job. Proud
Yeah,
of you.
good
Did a
job,
great
Lowell.
job.
when I called Chelmsford, they said that you don't have to make a reservation because it wasn't going to be a high attendance. But there are events that they will have that is more of an event,
Yeah, so that if
and they need to have a number.
if they advertise an event, then they want a reservation.
Right, but generally speaking, on a day-to-day basis, they don't. And again, they have the same, I would assume, the same policy as everybody. They don't turn anybody
I don't think
away
they're gonna turn
if they're
people-
hungry.
Yeah, but see, like, with the economy not being what it's supposed to be, and SNAP benefits not being what they're supposed to be, it's cool to know this Saturday, if you have no SNAP benefits, head to Lowell Senior Center.
Get lunch.
Get a lunch for $2.
There
Or
you
get a
go.
lunch for
Or
nothing.
for nothing, right.
They also have coffee and muffins in the morning, or they have coffee and something to eat. Might be toast, might be
Okay,
donuts,
That's good,
but 7 days a week.
that's good.
But it's, you're griping, well, I don't have the money. Go over to this, whatever senior center you have, and they have a nice lunch. Tingsboro does not have lunch.
No,
So-
they don't have a senior center, right?
Colin Loisel, yes, they do. Colin
Oh, they
Loisel,
do?
the
Oh,
town
they do?
manager
They
at
don't have food?
Tingsboro,
I
No
didn't know
food?
that.
he comes in like once every month, once every other month. So I talked to Linda Bound yesterday, and we'll be beating up Colin Loisel next time he comes.
And again, as we proved yesterday, you don't have to, if you're gonna take advantage of the Lowell Senior Center, you don't have to be a Lowell resident. They'll take anybody because the food is federally subsidized.
So you can go down and eat in Boston Senior Center.
Exactly.
You can go, any you're traveling down in Florida, you want to go to Fort Myers Senior Center, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Absolutely.
They have to let you in.
Yep.
Well, we did have one guy yesterday in Lowell that didn't particularly care for us, like, because we were out of towners. I'm not, but,
Oh, really? Did I miss that?
and I just said, I understand, sir, thank you.
Well, what did he say? You shouldn't be here, or?
You have to be a Lowellian.
Oh, he said that to you?
Yes.
Oh. Well, he's not, that's not right. No.
So he marched up to the front and barked at somebody, and they barked back to him, you don't have to be a Lowellian.
But you are a Lowellian, so he was talking to the wrong
Well, I
person.
said I had 3 guests.
Yeah. Oh,
Are they
and-
from Lowell?
so he was complaining about the guests, okay.
Careful.
That's before he took my chairs. So, but at any rate, we got chairs, they were fantastic. I'll tell you, Lowell Senior Center, a great stop for lunch, great stop, and there's plenty of activities upstairs, and there's early voting going on.
Yeah.
That ends today everywhere.
If he had said that to me, I would have said, well, you are aware that at one point Lowell was a part of Chelmsford, right? You know that.
Well, when I tried to talk with him, he said, don't be a wise guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's what he would have said to me if I had
Oh,
said
Don't
that.
yeah.
be a wise guy.
Yeah.
I said,
Well,
"Okay."
then don't talk to me like you are.
Yeah.
You have to be careful what you do and say to people because you never know why they're there.
Well, in this-
Like,
and-
did they know we were there to critique the food?
And people don't have a sense
Well,
of
there
humor.
were a lot of people, I would say, not a lot, see, 4 people walking around checking out if you guys were really from the show.
Oh, really? Yeah.
All they have to do is tune in.
I know, but they'll say, they're really here. Because we weren't supposed to be there yesterday.
Well, it shows that they know about
Slide
the
that
show.
mic, Sam.
It shows that they know about the show or they watch the show.
Yeah.
If they're
So, it was a
kinda
good
cool.
stop.
Well,
making that inquiry.
A lot of fans over at the Lowell Senior Center, and you got a great lunch there today, and hope you have a nice dance today. Thank you for your excellence.
so speaking of food, at some point, if you would like to try the 2 things that
Oh, I'm going to mosey
Right.
over there next.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we can talk about food again. In Chelmsford, we finished town meeting last week on Thursday. We had some zoning articles, and they did pass.
It was almost all zoning articles on Thursday.
Yes. And so we have created a new zone to build in.
CB light, so CB is commercial, and CB light, okay, which is, as Evelyn said, is a new zoning definition that we did not have before.
I think they did that to sort of try to prevent heavy industry being able to buy up commercial land adjacent to residential.
That was part of the reason, yes.
And that way then you have like a buffer zone between.
Correct.
And maybe you can help out with this issue.
I don't know why they call this stuff hamburger helper. It does just fine by itself. Cousin Eddie in the movie Vacation. Okay, well, that goes back, I kind of asked Evelyn that question. What else can you put with hamburger helper? But this person seems to suggest that you can eat it by itself.
Yes, you can. You can just cook the pasta that's
Well,
in there with
what's
the
in it?
sauce.
What's in hamburger helper? What is it? I don't even
Elbow
know.
spaghetti.
Oh, it's spaghetti. All
Yeah,
right.
it's
Okay.
a pasta. It's elbow pasta.
Right.
That's
You can tell I don't do the cooking. 'cause
and I don't use
yeah.
hamburger helper.
Well,
When they first came out with hamburger helper, and I looked at it and read the box, I go, what do I need this for? I have this stuff on my shelf. I make this all the time. So somebody had actually
Just a
created it.
It's a convenience thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and put everything all in one box. A lot of people do that.
It's
They
like a
make
cake
money that
mix,
way.
right?
Pardon me?
It's like a cake mix.
Well, not quite.
I mean, you can make a cake using flour and sugar and so.
And you can make your own base cake
Right,
mix
right.
if you want to.
So-
And then you have to have the instructions on how many cups you have.
It's just easier to
I
buy a
thought
cake
what
mix.
was interesting, I'm trying to remember, I had a recipe for what they call a cherry dump cake. You use pie filling. And I only wanted to make an 8x8 pan rather than a 9x13 pan. And so I did the cake mix and I measured it out. And I think it was a total of 3 cups of mix in a cake mix. So I measured out a cup and a half. And it was really interesting that it was an even number. So that was a surprise to me, and that was just recent. Anyway, so we'll talk about whatever we're going to talk about as far as the food thing goes. I'm going
to do one more text, then we're going to eat.
Right, and then at some point, if you have a lot of stuff not on your screen, we
Then
could
we're gonna
always
eat.
look up, because someone in the first hour asked about sell-by or the expiration dates and what they all mean. And we certainly can put those definitions up so people will understand what that is.
The texts are not working today too good, but this guy, Trump's, he said, puts out to us that Trump's, oh, wait a second, it came up, so we'll see if I can get that up on the screen.
So we're having apparently some difficulty with some of the text
Yeah,
messages that come in, and John will
They're
read
coming a
them.
little slow. Trump numbs Biden with auto pen photo in new White House.
Are we
portrait
sure that
collection.
that's accurate? Is that accurate?
What does that mean?
Oh, look at Snopes. Let it go, okay?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
accurate.
I didn't
A
mean for you to
devoted
say it's
viewer-
accurate.
A
I'm-
devoted viewer sent this to us.
Yep, there's an awful lot of things that now with AI, and
you
there's,
have to be
oh,
careful.
it's crazy. Some of the reels that's out there, and I'm looking at it going, those aren't the right people in those
Well,
pictures.
In
This
the old
is
days,
from
you could rely
PBS
on.
News.
Yeah,
You could rely on your camera in the old days,
Not
but you can't
anymore.
anymore.
No.
PBS News.
PBS.
So Trump's having fun with a lot of stuff. I think it lends itself to a little bit of being fake, because there's 2 pictures of Dandy Donald here.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and they're the same picture, but slightly different backgrounds.
I'll tell you, the whole AI thing really scares me because, again, if you have your own specific technical knowledge in a certain subject area, and I use the example, for me, it's like classic cars, right? I consider myself very knowledgeable, and I get all these feeds of classic car related stuff. And a lot of the stuff is AI, and it's wrong. It's just flat out wrong. And what I have, looking at these things for quite some time now, what I've determined is that a lot of this AI, at least in this particular area, I'm not going to speak for other technical areas, but in this one area that I'm familiar with, what they do is they pull a lot of the information from internet sources. And a lot of your internet sources are not authoritative. They're opinion-based, okay?
Including Wikipedia.
Exactly, and that's
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah,
but
the news
that's
is
why a
opinion-based.
lot of times your AI information is wrong. Now, I can't speak to other areas that I don't have any technical knowledge in, but all I'm saying is this one area that I do know about, if they're doing it there, then they're probably doing it in, it's the algorithm probably works the same
I
way.
know this is
Go ahead.
supremely important. What do we have?
Yep.
You've got cranberry, orange, almond
Yeah.
bread
Okay, please continue, Sam.
with an orange glaze.
In some cases, it's blatant. And I'll give you an example. Okay, so you get an AI article and it says, well, this is, here's an article on the 1963 Dodge. And the picture comes up and it's a 64 Ford. I mean, that's pretty bad, okay?
Yeah, because they don't know.
No, they don't know.
No.
They're just pulling.
But there's a real,
So,
there's a real threat.
so I'm nervous about it.
There's a real threat to
Yeah.
public health, and it's not antique cars.
No, exactly.
It's all the chats that you can get online, and they're AI, and they are trying to take the place of real people that do any forms of therapies, or if you have a counselor, or you have a
That could be dangerous.
because there were teens that were on chat, certain types of chat programs, and they were recommending that the teen commit suicide.
Oh, wonderful.
And actually, one kid did that was influenced by the conversation, and the conversation wasn't a real person. Someone programmed the unreal individual, but and so there's a real problem with all of that. So I caution anybody and everybody to make sure that they're talking to a real person, because someone that I know had called a financial institution to try to get information, and the whatever they did, they asked a question. My sister responded, and whatever was going on, they asked the same question again, and my sister responded. So and I said, you got to find out whether or not the person you're talking to is real. And it's really something today that if you pick up the phone, you're not. Now, you can tell with some voices on the phone,
Right.
whether or not it's AI, artificial or not.
Yeah, you can
Well,
use it.
But
The
in
best
some cases, you
practice-
can't.
Best practice I've had with talking to AI on the phone is I asked them, how many children did your mother have? It does not know what to do with that question.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, cool. How long
Yeah,
have
well,
you been married?
How would they know? How would it know?
Well, a person would say, I have, if I ask you, Sam, how many children did your mother have? There's an answer.
I would know, yes, right.
Well, it isn't just that. You could also have the responses, well, why are you asking me that question? How relevant is it to the conversation? And you
Because
would
I
have,
think you're AI.
you would have a comeback if it was a real
So
person.
that's
So
a
I go
test.
back to my question, I'm not asking for their names, their
That's a
weight,
test.
their gender. How many children did your mother have?
Yeah.
If you don't want to answer me, goodbye. And the other thing too is, we don't answer the landline ever.
Very seldom do we answer.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go into personal information here. So there's a whole lot of things that everybody has to be very, very cautious
Yeah.
about. One of the things that I thought was interesting on my phone, it said potential spam, and I looked at the phone number underneath. I says, that looks familiar. And it was one of the furniture companies calling me to tell me that my order was in. So even though it may come up as potential spam identified on your telephone, you have to be cautious about not answering some of that. I think that the biggest thing that you
Oh,
have,
Evelyn, is this Evelyn Thoren? What's your answer?
what do you want to know for?
Never say yes.
Well, that's true. And
Never
somebody will say,
say
hi,
yes.
hi, is this Evelyn?
Yeah.
Speaking.
Exactly. Never say yes. Never.
Okay, Sam, read this guy.
Is the food bank to supplement people's groceries, not act as a grocery store? Well, they don't know at the food bank. So even donating an item that requires other items to make them are still valuable.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But they prefer to try to have something
Right.
complete because you don't know who you're
Right.
giving the food to. So it's not mandated, it's recommendations.
They'll take anything, basically. That's been my experience.
Right, you
anyway.
just have to watch those expiration
Right.
dates. Did you want to put up, or look up, John, in your spare time over there, what does the expiration dates mean?
On food
No,
items.
because I don't want to get sued.
You're gonna, it's gonna be like definitions on Wikipedia. You don't want to even do that?
Which may or
We
may
did
not
this
be
before.
accurate.
All right, I'll do it.
Evelyn, I'm not going to give out advice to eat food that's gone bad,
I didn't say that.
okay? And I'm not going to give out advice on how to read a can that says, it expired last month, can I still eat this? You got to use your head, kids. Use your head. If it expired last month, if you
Don't
got
eat
a
it.
dented can,
Don't eat it.
I wouldn't eat it.
Nope.
Use your head.
So what I'm trying to do
If you want to
here,
look it up and talk about it, go right ahead. I got to go see if we're on TV.
okay,
And it looks like our guest isn't going to
I
show.
took Vesna's name.
yeah,
Okay.
a while ago.
He must have misunderstood the date.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I'm
He's a good guy, Vesna.
sending you that.
I think he's probably all right, though.
All right, but I think I'm going to. You got some? Oh, that's my text that you just got.
Oh, okay. Forgot to charge my phone this morning. I'm amazed at how long the battery on this thing lasts.
So John won't do this, but I'm going to read what's on my telephone. It's not my opinion. A use-by date is the last day a food product is considered safe to consume. That's a
Consume.
use-by, particularly for perishable items.
What about sell-by?
I'm going to get there. And is determined by the manufacturer based on safety and quality assessments. The date is based on the assumption that the food is stored correctly, and it's illegal to sell products past the date. This is a use-by date. This is different from best-by dates, which refer to peak quality rather than safety.
Would that be sell-by? Is that the same
I'm
thing
going to
as
get there
sell-by?
if I can figure this out.
Okay. See, I
So
don't,
this is all use-by, because that's what I asked for.
I don't eat stuff that's past the sell-by date, just to be super cautious. That's
Yeah,
just
but
me.
you can.
Oh, I know, but that's just
Because
me.
it depends on what it is. Because I've bought stuff where the date's months in advance, and I open it up and it's bad. I take it home. I take it back.
Yeah.
It's safe to throw the food away. Don't rely on visual or olfactory clues to determine what
Oh,
it
if
is. I
it's-
should be dead by now, by the way.
If it smells bad,
Well,
that's
obviously.
that's it for me.
Now, the other thing is if my milk is sour, I use it in cooking. I'm not throwing it away. If it goes sour within the date, I've opened it.
Yeah, you can use it
And
in
it goes,
cooking.
right.
Right.
And then sometimes what you can do with heavy cream, if heavy cream goes bad, now you have sour cream. So, because you could make it by adding, I think, vinegar to it.
But don't just, I would never
Well,
drink
it's
a
sealed.
glass, I would never drink a glass of sour milk because it tastes terrible.
Oh, well, yeah, it's
You
really
know.
bad, and it makes you want to gag.
Yeah.
So now, let's see,
Now, what's buttermilk? I never understood buttermilk. What is that?
buttermilk.
Yeah,
If you make butter, the fat coagulates.
okay.
There is liquid left. It's called buttermilk.
Oh, and that's the buttermilk? Okay.
Yes. So let me look that up since he's not here.
But it doesn't taste like milk, probably.
No, it adds a different flavor.
I mean, I do know people that do drink straight buttermilk. I've never tasted it, so I don't know.
I don't like it. You can make it by adding lactic acid bacteria. I think you can make it by adding.
So
that.
it's a byproduct of the making butter process, basically.
That's originally.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it was.
Well, that makes sense. That's why it's called buttermilk. I get it.
So if you want to make buttermilk and you don't have it, your recipe calls for it,
Mhm.
you would use 1 tablespoon of vinegar and then and you put it in a measuring cup and then add enough milk to make 1 cup. And now you have a cup of buttermilk.
Okay.
You have to stir it and let it sit for 5 minutes for it to process.
Good to know. I did not know that.
So in the old days, how did they make it? It was made from the nearly fat-free milk remaining after churning butter from cream, which was
Okay.
cultured with natural bacteria prior and during churning. And then there's all kinds of, if you look it up, it's all there. Fresh,
sure-
organic, cultured, low-fat,
And
full
in
fat.
the old days, when nobody threw anything away, I'm sure they saved it and used it.
Of course they did,
It wa-
because
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
part of that dairy product.
Today,
But it
people
does tell
throw
you all of
everything
that
away.
stuff. That's buttermilk.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No,
Some of this stuff is interesting.
yeah, I never
Um,
knew about buttermilk. That is interesting.
So on sell-by dates,
Hmm.
a sell-by date indicates the last day a retailer should display a product for sale. It is not a safety or expiration date, but a guide for the store to manage its inventory.
Okay.
Consumers typically have a few days after the date to use the product, especially for fresh items, though used by and expiration dates are clearer indicators for safety.
Right.
Now, when you have the sell-by dates, the reason that they implemented those was because retailers were keeping stuff forever and selling it. So you would have old products, and they were taking advantage of the consumer. So they put that in order to make sure that there were no other issues, especially on the health level, for individuals.
And they're supposed to do it, but the retailer don't always rotate their stock. I mean, they're supposed to, and most of the time they do. But I found situations where you can go in for milk, for example, and they're supposed to put the newest stuff in the back. They don't always do that. So when you buy things like that, just make sure you're looking at the date. Okay, if you want to get the newest item.
So I would suggest that anybody's listening, that you take, and if you have a telephone, ask your telephone what all these things mean, so that you have a clear picture
Good idea.
of exactly what it is. Even though I've read it, you should not be relying on anything that we're saying necessarily, but at least it tells you what you should be looking for. So
If you use the sell-by date as your expiration date, you're probably going to be safe.
you'll be very safe.
Yeah.
But you still have to make sure that the can isn't bulging or
Right,
leaking.
right.
And if something really smells bad,
Don't
not to do that.
Right.
Now, it was funny because I had some frozen cranberries. I've never really smelled cranberries, and they smelled awful, but they were fine. It was just that the smell of the item was not that great. Not that
Frozen
everybody goes
cranberries.
around and smells stuff. Well, once I defrosted them, I was like, geez, these smell kind of weird. But that's how they smelled, because I had a can of cranberry sauce, and I smelled that, and I go, well, it smells all the same, and there's no problem here. So sometimes the odor or the smell of the item that you're not familiar with, you need to understand about that also, because there's also some stuff that really smells bad but tastes just fine, and that's normal for that particular item. So we talk an awful lot about food.
Well,
on
you're
this
the food
program.
expert.
No, I'm not an expert
Well,
at all.
you know a lot more about it than I do.
Well, I do a lot of cooking
You
and
do a lot of
baking.
cooking, right?
I made a crustless quiche. So
A crustless quiche.
yeah, because when I use
That would be like an omelet, wouldn't it?
no, it's baked. So
Okay, but it's egg-based,
yes.
right? Okay.
So I never can get a pie shell when I make a quiche to cook all the way through for whatever reason, because I certainly don't want to burn it.
Well, cook the shell first. And then,
I've tried all of that. It doesn't
Okay,
work.
All right.
So what I've done is I take the pie plate and I spray it, and I have like a butter spray, but really it's a soy base thing. And then when I put all the ingredients in, like as if there was a shell there, it cooks just fine. And
So it's
better for you.
it's a baked omelet is what it is.
Well, if you have to use it that
Well,
term.
yeah, because it's mostly eggs, right?
Well, it's mostly with something else.
And then you get stuff in it.
So I sauteed onions, mushrooms. In fact, I made those egg bites, and of course what John did was he had what was sugary and sweet rather than the thing that was really good for you.
Well, of
And
course.
So,
Bad stuff always tastes good, right?
well, I can make cottage cheese pancakes, and they taste really good
Cottage
too.
cheese pancakes.
Yes, and Glenn put that on Facebook on
Okay.
somebody's post. I think it was Tom Cristiano's post, and somebody wanted the recipe.
Well, of course.
But everybody wants the different recipes that I have, except that I don't use a recipe. It's kind of putting stuff together, and
But
it looks right.
Roughly,
So what I did.
On your pancake batter, roughly what percentage of the batter is cottage cheese, roughly?
I think I used about 2.5 cups of pancake mix.
Okay.
Then I used a container of cottage cheese. I added cinnamon and I added vanilla to
So
it
it's
because
probably
I
about
like
a
that.
third of your batter, right?
It's more than,
It's more than a third? Okay.
well, yeah, because it would be because
Now,
what's-
what does the cottage cheese do to your pancake batter?
it increases the protein content and it's better for you.
What about taste?
You can't taste,
You
well, it
can't
tastes
taste-
better,
Okay.
but
all
it
right.
doesn't taste funny. And it's cheese, so it's a little stringy. Oh, he's gonna have an egg bite.
But cheese
This
is,
is still warm, so what is this?
oh, wow.
Okay, so drop it a little bit on the, there you
There you
go.
go.
Yeah, sort of. So anyway, that's a cottage cheese egg bite. And so I took eggs, and I'll tell everybody how I modified the recipe. But in it, you have bacon, sauteed onions, sauteed mushrooms, some spinach, and
More
zucchini.
use them.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy stuff.
Thanks, Al.
Got spinach in there, there you go.
Yep. But
Thank you,
because
Popeye.
And because it's like a cupcake tin, you don't need to put a lot of stuff in it because a cupcake tin is only like about this high. And I tried a couple of other things which tasted just fine, but I'd never do them again because they didn't look that great. So I'm always experimenting with something.
Yep.
And
And she tries it out on me.
or Glenn. And I've learned a lot of stuff. But you asked about the cottage cheese pancakes. And
Yes.
so I had approximately 2 cups of the pancake mix. And then
That's the dry mix.
yes.
And then
And
you
then
put-
I added the cottage cheese to that.
Okay.
And then I added eggs to that, which you're not supposed to do with the pancake mix, but this works for me. And then I added lactate for the milk, just because that's what I have on the shelf. And what else did I use? And so I make it so that it pours, because you don't want it too thick, because then it won't cook through. It's too thick. It needs to be baked. And then you want to make sure that when I use a soup ladle, so all my pancakes are the same size. And when I do that and I pour it out, then I take the bottom of the ladle and I do that
Spread
so
it
that
out.
it's only about this thick.
But you gotta do that quickly, because if you don't, then you get rings on the bottom of your pancake.
Who cares, as long as you're
I
eating
do.
it?
I want it to look good.
Oh, sometimes what I've done is I've sprinkled chopped bacon in it. I've done that with blueberries. I mean, there's a whole lot of things you can do with pancakes.
Well,
It does
bacon makes
take longer to
everything
cook than
Oh, sure.
regular pancakes.
But then you do an apple pancake, which is very.
Oh, you liked that,
Oh, I
yes.
did.
So
I
I
did.
I pre-made, I used the green apples, chopped them up, and I kind of pre-cooked them a little bit. You could take,
Last text of the day, Sam.
Isn't the food bank to supplement people's groceries, not act as a grocery store?
We read this one before.
Yeah, I
Google
think
it,
so.
many news outlets have the same
Yeah.
story.
So even
Which
donating
story?
an item, yeah, right. So, well, no, they don't ask. I mean, when you go into the food bank, they don't say, now, is this in addition to your regular groceries? They just.
You know, they don't ask if you can
No,
you can use it.
They just give you the.
But there's a lot of people, there was somebody that had posted on Facebook, we don't need to keep talking about food, we can do that another day. And if anybody has questions, send them to John.
Well, they had, one time I went over to the senior center, and they're giving out free food. So I bring the bag of free food home, put it on the kitchen table, and my wife says, "What's that?" I said, "They're giving away free food at the senior center." She says, "Bring it back." We don't need the food. That's for people who need the food. Bring it back. So I had to get in the car and bring it back.
Good for Ellen.
Well, you're
There
not
you go.
very far away
Well, they
from,
were giving it out to everybody, so I just took it. Like trick or treat.
Well,
I don't remember the last time I ever did that, and to go for lunch at a senior center and pay $2.50 or $3, because I feel as though I should pay for
It's a
something.
donation.
oh, yeah.
'Cause
They
I
didn't even
can.
tell you how much in Lowell. Make a donation if you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, I got it, and I'm sure Glenn put money in there,
yeah,
but,
he did, because
no, I knew he put money in, I'm
He
sure he
was-
put enough money
he
in.
was right after me.
Yeah, and he,
did.
because we believe in sharing, not 100%
If
what
you're
we
able to
have,
make
but,
a donation, you do it.
right. And but there's a lot of places that you can donate to and the whole 9 yards. So we've covered a wide variety of topics this morning.
Yes.
If you are looking at anything and you're in Chelmsford, remember that on Chelmsford Telemedia online, you can watch the town meeting if you so choose. You can watch the presentations that are being given for the new Parker School so that you have an understanding of that, because you will be voting on that. And we do not have, as far as I know, there's no election on Tuesday in Chelmsford.
No.
In Lowell,
There
it
is a election in Lowell. So if you're listening from Lowell, make sure that, and they also had early voting, and I would assume it stops tomorrow.
Stops today.
It stops today. Apparently they must have some policy on that or legal issue.
My understanding, I could be wrong, you could be right, but I think it stops today.
Right. Usually in Chelmsford, if you have absentee, I think you can pull one up until noontime the day before the election.
That's correct.
So
Tomorrow's City Life. Cliff Krieger's going to be the host. We're going to have
5 people.
candidate for City Council, Belinda Duran's going to be a candidate for School Committee, Danielle McFadden. Eileen Del Rossi will be here, and Jose Cervantes.
I predict.
He'll be here tomorrow, trick or treat day.
I predict that Danielle will do very well in the election. She's a very nice person.
She's
So
lovely.
we're going to run out of time unless John wants to quickly put up the picture. I did resend it to you
No,
of the personal
no more,
vehicles.
No more, this is it. Say goodbye.
I love all of the different media.
No more.
So, well, we do have like 1 minute. So, next week, I think we have Sandra Menendez coming in.
Yeah, Meneses.
Meneses
Attorney
coming in.
Sandra Meneses.
Yes. So if you have any, no, we don't. Right now, I don't have anybody on my calendar for the 6th. I have her for the 4th of December.
Okay.
So if you have questions
So
that
look at-
you want to ask a lawyer,
Evelyn, do you have
please
any
let
fun
them know.
plans for the weekend?
I'm going to babysit on one of the days so my
Sam,
children
do you have
can
any
go out
fun
to dinner.
plans for the weekend?
No, I have a bunch of work I have to do.
And on my end, we were supposed to go to the beach, but that got canceled.
Well, I'm hoping we can tile the backsplash in my kitchen. I've been waiting for a while
That
to
doesn't
do
sound like fun.
Oh, I love to
Oh,
do that
for
kind
her
of
it's
stuff.
fun,
Oh, I love doing all that stuff. And I have a few shrubs I'd like to pull out with my tractor in my front yard. We'll see if I do that.
So
Depends on
sorry,
my
kids, we
motivation.
don't have music.
And, yep, and so everybody stays safe and
Nice color with those trees,
we're planning on, for us to see you next Thursday, but City Life is Monday through Friday.
Everyone loves to run right to the last second. Goodbye,
Take care.
everybody.